Alright, I'm back with another Destiny video. We'll see how many parts I need to chop this up into, as I will be spending the next, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 minutes reading this monstrous TWAB. This is a 9,000 word TWAB just about the weapons sandbox somehow. For reference, like the first Harry Potter book is I think 74,000 words, so a couple of these stacked together and you have a novel. This is from DMG. He has been hyping this up all week just in terms of its length, and again, this is supposed to be mainly just about weapons, so we will see how this goes. This week at Bungie, we seem to have written a short novel about upcoming weapons sandbox changes. Hello, dear reader. I'd like to kick this TWAB off with a quick word of advice. Never end your drafting phase with your introduction. I've been kicking this thing around for 50 minutes now, trying to figure out the best way to launch you into yet another mega TWAB worth of sandbox information. We've got quite a few changes planned for next season. We're excited to start spreading the word. Let's keep our conversation about the live game short and sweet, shall we? It's an interesting week to say the least. Okay, I don't care about that. Where's the information? Okay, even with a solid launch in our sales, the winds of change will always catch up to Destiny. As mentioned, we'll be talking about how those winds are shifting the sands of our weapons sandbox. Some of you know the Destiny sandbox like the back of your hands. In some cases, well enough to release a 45-minute video about the intricacies of shotguns. Well, we do have some changes ready for you. Yeah, that won't be me. That's Fallout. I've been known to recommend grabbing a drink of water and a snack for larger TWABs, and this is no different. Yeah, I should probably have some water. I have coffee. I have a giant coffee here and a half-asleep baby, if that counts. Take this at your own pace, have a good time, and ask questions once you're through. Our community and sandbox teams will be at the ready to issue clarifications when we can. Yeah, that's probably a whole separate follow-up thing I can do. And we'll follow up in future post TWABs or other means of communication if necessary. That's a big sandbox. In a few short sentences, we'll be passing the mic over to staff designer Chris Proctor. Chris joins us today as a representative of the team, speaking to a few hundred bullets of sandbox patch notes that were developed by a group of ragtag guardians here at the studio. Each of them contributed many, many hours to their time to get these changes prepped and ready for Season 17, beginning May 24th, 3 days before my birthday. And we're expecting Crucible strategies to shift a bit in just a few short weeks. All right. Goodbye, hand cannons. Yeah, right. We'll see. For those that aren't in tune with the intricacies of the Destiny sandbox, this will be a lot to take in. You might need to wait a bit for fellow community member to break down some of these changes to be less daunting. That is supposed to be me, I think. I'm going to do a written summary of this, I think, with like a Cliff Notes thing where I just kind of summarize things. I don't even understand all the stuff they talk about with like cone angles and things, so if you want like the most technical breakdown of this, that is not my area of expertise. From a high level, we're covering the following today. A handful of goals from the team, Glaive's commentary on their design, and some plans for future tuning. Nice. Flinch and airborne gameplay and how we're pushing these into build crafting. Okay. Airborne gameplay, huh? They really love their airborne gameplay. Tuning one-hit kills in the Crucible, general tuning for special ammo, exotic weaponry, legendary archetypes, and a slew of weapon perks. Let's get to it. Proctor. G'day, Guardians. G'day, Guardians. Okay. In Season 17, the Sandbox team is making changes across all aspects of the Sandbox to improve the player experience of PvP. Okay, so this is a lot of PvP-focused things. Alright, interesting. Here are the weapon team's goals to support that. Introduce levers to tune how players build for airborne gunplay. Destiny has extremely fluid and expressive airborne movement, but that movement must be balanced against grounded players lest it become oppressive. You want players who enjoy that playstyle to be able to build into it, and they'll have to make tough choices about what they leave behind to do so. Successfully engaging in the air will no longer be as simple as put an Icarus Grip mod on it, but the upside for heavily investing in it will be higher. Okay. Allow players to mitigate for flinch. Excessive flinch is a frequent complaint from players, most importantly when using primary weapons and taking large chunks of damage from enemies. Players should be able to invest in flinch resistance, and baseline flinch should be lower on primary weapons, but hand-tuned per archetype so that the weapons that need flinch resistance have the easiest access to it. Reduce the number of one-hit kills in PvP. Yeah, they've been doing that for a while now. Sandbox overall wants to reduce the number of one-hit kills in PvP, shifting combat more toward primary gunplay. Let's bring back double primaries. No, I'm just kidding. With weapons, this means tuning special weapons, both the effectiveness of specific weapons and special weapon uptime overall, and one key primary outlier. What was that? Address common feedback on weapons across all game modes. Oh, we are doing PvE. Okay. Or are we? Each season, the weapons team look at legendary and exotic weapons that are over or underperforming and make adjustments. Season 17 will be a larger pass than usual, with more of a focus on the underused weapons and PvP balance. So we're getting a ton of exotic buffs. That would be great. With our goals stated, let's get to the meat of it all. First up, glaives. Glaive Arrave. We've noticed that several aspects of how glaives interact with weapon and armor perks don't match player expectations and want to take some time to clarify the intent, the changes included in Season 17, and the logic we'll use for future changes. A glaive melee is a basic melee attack, not a weapon attack. It doesn't consume ammo and deals kinetic damage, so it's more like an unpowered punch than a sword swing. Yeah, I hate that. Allowing buffs to weapon damage to apply to glaive melees would be too powerful for something without an ammo limitation, particularly in PvP, where even a small damage buff would allow for incredibly fast 2-hit kills. Also, in general, we prefer to increase glaive melee damage directly, as we're doing in fact, instead of effectively making weapon damage perks mandatory on glaives. Okay, so they're not making like rampage work on glaive melees. Got it. Glaives already have a long lunge distance, and increasing this at all results in unreliable behavior over the network, so no melee lunge distance buffs apply to glaive melees. Our intent is glaive melee should activate perks that trigger off base melee damage or kills. For example, ammo refill from Grave Robber, weapon damage 5x... Oh wait, okay. Weapon damage 5x stacks on Swashbuckler. So, oh yeah, because it's Swashbuckler. Never mind. Ammo refill from Sealed Icarus Grasps. Glaive melee should not activate the perks that trigger off powered melee damage or kills or require expending subclass melee energy, such as Combination Blow or Assassin's Cowl. Yeah, that would be bad. Okay. Glaive melee should benefit from melee damage buffs such as Winter's Guile or Wormgod's Caress. Glaive melee should not benefit from weapon damage buffs such as Rampage, Kill Clip, Swashbuckler. Boo. I mean, I get it. I'm not like a sandbox balance person, but it just feels so weird. Didn't they just say Swashbuckler would work? Or no, I think it's just creating the buff. Okay. Glaive projectiles should benefit from weapon damage buffs. Yeesh. Okay, with that expectation set, there are some inconsistencies with how these are implemented in-game, some of which we've already fixed, some of which we'll look at in the future. Once we have these guidelines consistently implemented in-game, we may look at specific cases where this doesn't match player expectations and do something custom, updating descriptions where needed for clarification, but our primary goal is that players should be able to predict how a glaive interaction will work. Here's what we changed during Season 16. So this is when they reduced glaive projectile melee to get max energy from 6 to 4, and glaive melee can now be interrupted by hunter dodge. Didn't hear about that, but okay. Glaive Robber perk now pulls from reserves on glaives instead of generating ammo. Glaives no longer get stuck in a clang recovery when using a melee attack on one another. Sealed Grasps no longer reload glaives on projectile hits, but they do on melee hits. Glaive melees can no longer stun lock high health combatants. Glaive melee kills are now tracked in match history. Most of these were nerfs, except this one. I feel like almost all of these were nerfs. Okay, here's what we're changing in Season 17. We're pushing glaives deeper into their roles of hard-hitting melee damage and near-complete protection when shielded, as well as increasing projectile speed. Yes, thank God, good lord, to make them more reliable at range. Note, the Glaive Shield grants 97.5% damage resistance in PvE. Wow, okay, 75% in PvP. Increased melee damage versus PvE enemies, except bosses, by 25%. Not bad. Reduced energy drain speed while shielded by 30%. Also not bad. Increased projectile speed dependent on the range stat. Interesting. At 0, increase it from 30 to 60, so it's double. At 100, increase from 80 to 100. Was it always dependent on the range stat, or is that something they're adding? It's confusing. Okay. Exotic glaives have all been buffed. Good lord. Thank heavens. Alright, in addition to the global glaive changes, which will make it easier to build energy, projectile speed making landing shots easier, and energy granted per projectile hit, we have Titan Glaive, Edge of Action. Players now gain a Void Overshield while inside the bubble. Helm of Saint 14 now applies to the bubble as does Reward of Dawn. Okay, so they're not changing the mechanics of how these activate. Yeah, okay, I don't like that. Warlock Glaive, Edge of Intent, increase speed and acceleration of the healing turret projectiles. Hunter Glaive, Edge of Concurrence, triple the damage of the wave detonation, increase the number of enemies it can chain to from 4 to 8. I mean, like, I want to use these and see how they feel, but, like, just the whole thing of, like, charging it up, holding the button to activate it, like, reloading it half the time, I don't really love how that feels. So, I I don't know. I think they need broader reworks than that. I'm not sure that's gonna cut it. Global changes. Flinch. Aim deflection on receiving damage, typically called flinch, is a common pain point, particularly on primary ammo weapons. We've rebuilt the stability weapon stat to grant flinch resistance, oh that's a big change, in addition to its other effects with a maximum flinch resistance of 10 to 25% dependent on weapon archetype. With this change, players can build for flinch resistance more easily on weapons that feel flinch more than others, and less so on special weapons which we don't want to be easier to use when under fire. From internal playtests, you may not feel the difference when using just one source of flinch resistance, but when stacking 2 or more sources, the benefit is strong. Note that higher zoom weapons are more affected by flinch, which we took into account when tuning these numbers. Here's a breakdown for flinch resistance with 100 stability, 25% auto rifle, submachine gun, bow, 20% pulse rifle, scout rifle, sidearm, machine gun, 15% hand cannon, trace rifle. Here's your hand cannon, not as good as these. 10% fusion rifle, shotgun, sniper rifle, grenade launcher, breach and drum, linear fusion rifle, special and heavy, rocket launcher. Note that a stability stat of below 20 will technically have a small flinch resistance penalty, but only around 5 weapons have a stability stat in that range. Mentioning here because it's a related change, the resilience character stat now grants flinch resistance of 0% at 0 stat, 10% at 100 stat. Oh, okay. That's actually interesting. So you could have like 25 with max stability plus that's 35 plus the mods, I'm assuming. Examples. Note that sources of flinch resistance stack multiplicatively. 100 stability stat Suros pulse rifle with Suros synergy active, 10 resilience, no distractions. Oh yeah, that too. And 2 unflinching pulse rifle armor mods will buff by rally barricade. 90% flinch resistance. 70 stability stat hand cannon, 5 resilience, 1 unflinching hand cannon armor mod, 39% flinch resistance. Interesting. Okay, I mean, I'm not like Mr. PvP, but that sounds like an interesting change. Before getting to build crafting, we've made a fundamental change to the modifiers applied while airborne. Your primary weapons will have less randomness and projectile accuracy. In most cases, you'll have less aim assist instead, and will need precise aiming to land your shots without building heavily into airborne. We've added a new weapon stat. A new weapon stat? Whoa, crazy. Airborne effectiveness, which is present on all weapons, except those where being airborne doesn't have any effect, like swords, which maps onto aspects of airborne gunplay when using these guidelines. Wow, I can't believe they made a whole stat. That's wild. Okay. Little to no investment, 0 to 30 airborne stat. Well, is this going to be like a stat like with a bar or like aim assist, where it's like it exists, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, little to no investment, 0 to 30. A character will have smaller accuracy penalty than retail, but will have significantly lower aim assist. Middle investment, 31 to 50. A character will have around the same in-air accuracy as Icarus equipped weapons do currently, but with noticeably lower aim assist. Substantial investment, 50 to 70. A character will have better accuracy than retail weapons with Icarus and fewer misses due to randomness, but with reduced aim assist. With Specialized, 71 to 99. A character will have no airborne accuracy penalty and very slightly less aim assist. With full investment, 100. A character will have no airborne accuracy penalty and the same aim assist. So you can build hard into it. The stat has been tuned on all exotic weapons, everything that's shipped in Season 16 or 17, and everything that's ever shipped as Trials or Nightfall loot. Older legendary weapons have a default value set per weapon archetype to a value just below the middle of the allowed stat range. Okay. Note this will be a hidden stat at Season 17 launch. Okay, there we go. Similar to aim assist and recoil direction, you'll be able to check stats on a specific weapon through the API, and in Season 18, several previously hidden stats will be visible on the weapon inspection screen. Oh, that's a big change. Okay, so they're going to put stuff like this in weapon inspection. The stat influences several aspects of airborne gunplay. Is this going to be something I don't understand? Cone angles. I don't know what any of this means. Okay. All right, this one seems... Okay, headshot aim assistance. This controls how forgiving headshots are while airborne. If this is 0, you must be pinpoint aiming precisely at the head to get the headshot. Otherwise, you get a body shot even if your aim assist cone overlaps with the head. Previously, while airborne, players would get full aim assist for headshots provided their aim assist cone overlapped the head at all. Okay, so it's harder. Gotcha. Pellet shotgun angle spread, plus 25 at 0. Okay. So more shotgun spread, less jumping around and shooting people with shotguns. Got it. All right. So this is all, I would say, a little too technical for me. These are the sources of it. Okay, so exotic weapon outliers for the Chaperone has 1 in the stat. Interesting. Oh, and a secret one. Interesting. So these are some of the hand tune ones they did. So baseline, shotgun. This shotgun is like nothing. Silicon Aroma has nothing. Submission as an SMG is higher at 27. Subclass stuff. Heat rises plus 70 while heat rises is active. Okay, so that's like a huge boost. Tempered metal plus 20 after solar weapon kill. Whisper of Hedrons plus 20 after freezing a target. Exotic armor, or armor that revolves around being airborne or works on specific weapons, grants a bonus or penalty in the negative 50 to plus 40 range. So, okay, so these are what exactly all of the exotics do to airborne assist. Most of these are, oh god, okay. So, all right, so this is interesting. So we're doing, I'll just go through these. Foe Tracer sucks, whatever, no one's going to use that. Trick Sleeves, so that makes this a lot better on sidearms, so in addition to its other benefits. Oathkeeper, now that's a bonus to bows, which is very good. Sealed Grasps, plus 50 to everything after 5 seconds after a melee hit. Lucky Pants, 20 to hand cannons after readying hand cannon. Stompies, minus 50 to all. So this is a decent Stompies nerf, I would say. I think this is the only nerf on here? Yeah, so without nerfing Stompies directly, that's a pretty big Stompies nerf. No backup plans, 30 to shotguns. Acting War Rig, 30 to auto rifles and machine guns. Hellfire Heart, 20 to all. Lion Rampant, plus 50 hip fire only. Peacekeepers, 40 to submachine guns. I saw a double submachine gun Peacekeeper build in Crucible that someone sent me that looked awesome. I want to try that. Peregrine, plus 20. Eye of Another World, plus 15. Astrocyte, first 30. Ophidian Aspect, 10. Necrotic Grips, 30 to Weapons of Sorrow. Huh, that's interesting. Love that synergy. Is anything besides Thorn a Weapon of Sorrow? I don't actually know the answer to that. Does this mean we're getting another Weapon of Sorrow? If not, all right. Wings of Sacred Dawn, plus 50 to all. Boots of the Assembler, plus 30 to just Lumina. Ooh, secret exotic that buffs fusion rifles and linear fusion rifles. Spicy. Okay, I like that. So if you want the best possible airborne effectiveness, you'll have to go all in on weapon, exotic armor, and subclass. So if you want like 100 perfect accuracy. So examples, Frontier's Cry with Icarus Grip and Lucky Pants, 79. Submission, Icarus Grip, Stompies, and Tempered Metal, 12, because Stompies are minus 50. Teraba, Peacekeepers, Whisper of Hedrons, 83. Skyburners, Heat Rises, ooh, 100. This is a big weapon system change. We'll be monitoring how it rolls out and expect to make adjustments post-ship. For fun, here are some graphs showing the most used armor exotics across each class. Oh, this is just fun data in general. We'll be watching data and feedback once these changes are live to see how things shift. Look at Stompies. It's so big. It has its own text. That's amazing. I can't actually see the rest of this because I'm colorblind and I can't match all these colors. So someone will have to fill me in on this. Oh god, no, there's no labels here. Okay, I can't parse this data. I think this is Lorelei. Some of these I can see, some of these I definitely can't. All right. Ophidian Aspect. That's a big pick, huh? See if that's not getting a nerf. So, wait, what is this one? Prometheus. I can't see these colors. Damn it! What is this? Phoenix Protocol. I think it's Phoenix Protocol. I can't see. Okay. Well, sorry, I'm not very much use there, but hopefully you can make some sense of that. Playlist weapons. All right, back to other things. The latest playlist weapons drop from Crucible Gambit and Strike FTD completions. Older weapons are available from vendor rank packages or can be focused. These weapons are intended to provide interesting drops even for players who spend a lot of time in an activity. And while we want to keep the large perk pools to address that goal, we want to provide a way to reduce the duration of the chase for players who want a weapon. Also, since the older playlist weapons are still available as vendor rank up rewards, we want them to feel more relevant in a post-origin trait world. Playlist weapons now have a chance to roll with extra traits in one or both columns. Oh, that's fun. Increasing with number of rank resets with that vendor during a given season. Oh, I like that. Note, reputation resets each season, so you'll need to play these activities each season to unlock the potential for extra perks. So they're not doing crafting for these. All playlist weapons from Beyond Light and later will drop with the correct origin trait. Stat display update. Following the recent change to show numbers for all stats instead of just bars, we've opted to change the stat display in weapons to more clearly reflect their capabilities. All weapon stat bars now range 0 to 100 instead of being limited to some range in the middle of the bar. Oh, okay. This change eliminates rounding and other errors, particularly on adept weapons, masterworks, and enhanced traits, and better conveys the balance of a weapon stat can exist within. This is purely a display change. No weapon behavior has changed, but you should expect all existing weapon stat bars to look slightly different. When it kills in special ammo. There are several damage buffs external to weapons that allow weapons to one-hit kill without much investment, such as an aggressive sniper rifle with high-impact reserves, Ariana's Vow, or the Monarch, specifically when combined with an external 20% damage buff. As an example, Empowering Rift can give many sniper rifles one-hit body shot capabilities in the Crucible. Most of these use the same buff under the hood, so we've adjusted them all at once. With these changes, it's going to be much rarer to get an easy one-hit kill with a weapon that wouldn't typically allow it. Reduce the damage bonus for Empowering Rift, higher energy fire, and inertia override from 20% to 15% against players. No change in PvE. In addition, we want special ammo to be less plentiful, making it more difficult to chain special weapon kills. Disabled ammo scavenger mods in PvP. They finally did it. They just deleted them entirely. No matter how much ammo a player is carrying in death, if you pick up a special break, you can only get 1 ammo for shotgun or sniper, or 1 kill's worth of ammo for weapons that require more than 1 shot to kill, Forerunner or Trace Rifle. Reaching several special weapon archetypes and exotic weapons, see below, with the general goal of reducing the effectiveness and uptime of special weapons. Okay. Special weapons, in particular shotguns and fusion rifles, are responsible for more one-hit kills than we like in PvP. We still want them as an option, but less ubiquitous, less effective at multiple ranges, and with lower uptime. Pictured, special weapon usage in the Crucible broken up by archetype. Oof. Shotguns, baby. Glaive. Poor Glaives. I like Glaives. They're fun in PvP, but man, yeah, not great. Linear fusion rifle. This is just Arbalest and Lorenz, I think. Sniper. Sniper is higher than I thought. I didn't think Sniper and Fusion would be so close. I thought Fusion would be higher now. Just not. Special weapons. All special weapons have had their in-air accuracy significantly reduced. We are okay encouraging players to build into their primary weapons more effectively in the air. We do not believe a prevalence of airborne one-hit kill options is good for PvP. Special weapons have a slightly larger airborne stat, airborne accuracy penalty, than primary weapons. 0 airborne effectiveness, reduced to 0 at 100 stat. Special weapons have a similar airborne aim assist cone penalty to other weapons, around 50% at 0 stat, and this penalty can be reduced but not entirely removed by investing in airborne effectiveness. Sniper rifles are fairly low to ready, stow, and aim down sights, which has made snapshot feel mandatory for many players. Reduced stow, ready, and aim down sights times by 10%. All snipers are now snappier. There's a matching change to snapshot below. Sniper rifles have less access to ammo than shotguns and fusion rifles, where kills drop ammo right in front of you, so we think ammo scarcity will prevent sniper rifles from spiking. Yeah, I can see that. This is like types of shotgun. Lightweight, the biggest. Interesting. Alright. Slug and pellet shotguns are still overwhelmingly popular in PvP despite recent changes, so we've touched them again with the goal of encouraging some diversity in special weapon choice. We're keeping an eye on this change since we've touched shotguns multiple times recently and will adjust if needed. With this change, we expect shotguns to have shorter one-hit kill distance but still be effective enough in that short-range kill roll. This change reduces shotguns' one-hit kill distance by around 0.5 meters. I already reduced it again, because the importance of spread angle is just as high as damage fall-off, and this has not been touched. Reduced damage fall-off start and end by 1 meter. Reduced aim assist and magnetism fall-off start and end by 2 meters. Fusion rifle usage is trending pretty high, particularly in trials, and bringing shotguns down a little more would make them too good an option, so we made a global change. With these changes, 20 meter plus fusion rifle one-hit kills should be very uncommon through a combination of damage falloff and recoil changes. Reduced damage falloff near distance, 2 meters at 0 range, 1.3 meters at 100 range. Reduced damage falloff far distance, 1 meter at 0 range, 1.3 meters at 100 range. Reduced recoil scalar variance, I don't know what that means. 0 stability unchanged, 100 stability increased the recoil penalty. Got it. Okay. And what are the exact fusions that are so good right now? Main ingredients. Everyone uses freaking main ingredients. A lot of people using Likely Suspect now because you can craft like a perfect roll of that. I've been using Snorri, which is decently okay. Barely anyone is using Zealot's Rewards. And I assume, what's the one that was so popular last season? That's not even on here anymore. Cartesian. Yeah, that was more PvE anyway. I love how all of these are listed on here. They're just so minor you can't even see them. Techune Force, things like that. All right. When we rebuilt fusion rifles in Season 15, we wanted to differentiate the subfamilies dramatically from each other, which worked. Now that we've seen them in action for a couple of seasons, we're pulling back from the extremes a little. With these changes, the fusion rifle subfamilies are still very different from each other, but high impacts are stronger, and rapid fires and precision should be a little less dominant. High impact reduced charge time, thank God, from 1 to 9.96, increased damage per burst by 10. Good lord, thank God. I knew I've been saving my high impacts for a reason. We'll see. I don't know. That's pretty minor. We'll see how it feels. Precision increased charge time from 0.74 to 0.78. Rapid fire increased unmodified charge time from 0.46 to 0.5. Decreased damage per burst by 20. Interesting. New charge time and damage per burst for all fusion rifle subfamilies. High impact 0.96, 330 damage. Precision 0.78, 280 damage. Adaptive 0.66, 270 damage. Rapid fire 0.5, 245 damage. Besides Divinity, Trace rifles aren't as popular in hard content as we want them to be. We particularly want damage type reworks of the oldest 3 Trace rifles to have a chance to shine this season. Damage type reworks, what does that mean? And they're also more effective by disabling scavenger mods than other special weapons. With this change, they're a better use of special ammo against non-red bar targets. Increased trace rifle damage against non-red bar combatants by 20%, like that. Increased ammo picked up per special book from 18 to 30, like that too. Alright, now we are into other buffs. Primary weapons. Auto rifles and pulse rifles aren't as competitive as we like in mid-range, and lightweight pulse rifles are too hard to hit their optimal time to kill. With these changes, we expect auto rifles and pulse rifles to better compete with hand cannons in mid-long range and outrange standard zoom submachine guns. Auto rifle increased damage falloff near distance by 0.75. Pulse rifle increased damage falloff near distance based on the range stat. 0 range 15 to 16, 100 range 22 to 24. Damage falloff far distance remains 40 meters regardless of the range stat. Increase lightweight pulse rifle damage per bullet from 15 to 16. And precision scalar from 24.75 to 26.4. This won't change the optimal time to kill in PvP, but will reduce the number of crits required. Interesting. So rapid fire pulses are like kind of the thing lately, and then I guess plus the messenger. So this is buffing the other types, so they're a little better. Zoom is too important to factor on submachine guns, and submachine guns with low zoom don't feel competitive in PvP. We've reduced the variance of zoom, brought base zoom up from 13 to 14, and extended the damage falloff distance. With this change, several standard zoom submachine guns will be more competitive, but this does make the inaccessible submachine gun with highest per trait RNG multi-match compete less with auto rifles, and it will no longer straight up outclass every other submachine gun in PvP. Well, that's probably good. Increased damage falloff by 1.5 meters. Adjusted zoom values on legendary submachine guns and 1 exotic. Shuri is down from 17 to 16. Multi-match down from 17 to 15. Stochastic up 13 to 14. Aikilos up 13 to 14. Seventh Seraph 13 to 14. Every Waking Moment 13 to 14. The Huckleberry 13 to 14. We like adaptive submachine guns and are starting to make them again. But in their current form, they kill a little too fast with body shots, so we reduce body damage to increase their body shot time to kill by 1 bullet without impacting their optimal time to kill. Decrease body damage from 12 to 11.25. Increased precision multiplayer from 1.35 to 1.44. Precision frame hand cannons have always been good while airborne, effectively having built-in Icarus Grip, and with the changes to airborne functionality, we wanted to preserve that feeling while translating their advantage to the new system. Intrinsic switch from 75% airborne accuracy penalty reduction to plus 25 airborne effectiveness stat. That means if you had a Frontier's Cry with Icarus Grip on it, you would be at 19 plus 25 plus 15 plus equals 59 before factoring in armor or subclass. Machine guns. Oh my, they're doing it. They're doing the big buff. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Machine guns still aren't where we want them to be in PvE, so we're giving them an additional buff, but less so against bosses where they're extremely long range and deep ammo reserves make them too strong in many roles. With this change, they'll shred most enemies without stepping on top-tier boss damage options. Increase damage by 40% against PvE enemies, 20% versus bosses. Xenophage and Grand Overture receive this buff except for the bonus versus bosses. That's a big deal. That's actually, like, really significant. The recurrent impact I built, the new stasis one from the season, which also gives you, like, tank capabilities with the perk, I'm really looking forward to using that, because that's the one you can, like, custom make now. This seems pretty significant to me. It remains to be seen if you're gonna, like, pick that over, like, a Gallarhorn or whatever, but I mean, at least they're trying. That's pretty significant. I also wonder if maybe a Xenophage could be less terrible now. Grand Overture, I never even finished the Catalyst on yet. I still have to do that, but... Alright, sword stats have been inconsistent for a while now, so we've tidied all these up, mostly cosmetic. Okay, change the charge rate stat of Soulless Scar from 20 to 50 to match Temptation's Hook. Rocket launcher subfamilies weren't differentiated enough by the previous change, so we made differences more extreme. With this change, we expect there to be a more marked trade-off for intrinsic tracking and precisions, and a greater benefit for other subfamilies specified relative to the baseline. Precision, minus 10% damage. Yeah, that already got a nerf, so that's another one. High impact, no change. Adaptive and aggressive, plus 10% damage. This is spreading them out even further. Okay, now we're getting to exotics. Let's see how this goes. How far are we? We're like more than halfway. I need the right. DMG's right. I need some water. I'm gonna have some more coffee. Hang on. Delicious. I've only done one cut in this video so far, so we're getting there. Exotics. All exotics that shipped before the Forsaken release now have their kill trackers visible by default. Fighting Lion needed more of a buff, so we improved its reload speed when Thin the Herd is active a couple releases back, and now we're increasing its blast radius and damage. I'm never going to use this. I'm sorry. With this change, it should be easier to get the damage you need to trigger its perk. Reverted the Season 15 Breach Launcher blast radius reduction, but just for Fighting Lion, increasing blast radius by 0.4 meters, increased damage by 5%. Eyes of Tomorrow is a raid exotic, ought to be better against tough PvE enemies. With this change, it's a solid option in this role, particularly with the Adaptive Ordnance perk active. Increased damage versus bosses and champions by 30%. Whew, very good, very good. All right, Leviathan's Breath. Oh man, Leviathan's Breath, huh? Let's see how this goes. Leviathan's Breath always felt like it should absolutely wreck champions. Using its first shot to stun an unstoppable champion without doing much damage felt bad. Archer's tempo from its catalyst is significant on paper, but in practice, that draw speed isn't as noticeable as we'd like. Overall, we hope these changes make it feel a bit better against all types of champions and other tough enemies in hard content. The Archer's tempo perk from the catalyst now has increased effect only on this weapon. The standard draw time scaler is 0.75x. It is now 0.5625x on Leviathan's Breath. Added a small delay before detonations on champions, mini-bosses, and bosses. This allows the impact to stun an unstoppable champion and the detonation to deal bonus damage against the stun champion. Alright, gotcha. Damage change should be more of an even split between impact and detonation. Increased damage across the board by 50%. 50%. Whew. Big moves. Overall damage versus champion is roughly doubled. Even more compared to shooting an unstoppable champion. Or even more compared... Yeah, okay. Wow. That's, again, like, I don't know what it'll take to make Leviathan's Breath good, but this seems like a pretty good start. Huckleberry had an underwhelming engagement rate, so we updated the zoom from 13 to 15. Okay, so Huckleberry's already pretty good, so... Oh, they're buffing Xenophage back to where it was. Amazing. We didn't like it being slower fired, so we are increasing the rate of fire and adjusting damage back to what it was. Thank the Lord. I miss Xenophage. Increasing it from 100 RPM to 120. Reduce damage per bullet to match previous. Doesn't benefit... oh. Sad. Doesn't benefit... Oh, wait. They already said that. From the damage buff versus bosses. The Monarch is too oppressive when combined with external damage buffs, but we felt it could be stronger in PvE. What? It's so good in PvE. Alright. With this change combined with the damage buff change, we've introduced a 60 resilience gate on killing a guardian in PvP with a crit in an empowering rift or similar. Reduce poison tick damage versus players by 25%. Change poison damage type from burn to poison. This is largely housekeeping, not gameplay significant. What are we gearing up for here? All right. Increase poison tick damage versus AI by 50%. I already thought the Monarch is really good in PvE. Maybe that's just me, but that is a very nice change. All right. I don't care about it in PvP, but that is a big change. Lorenz Driver can be difficult to fight against in PvP, in part because it does very high body shot damage. With this change, getting left super weak by a body shot should be less common, though we're keeping an eye on how this change lands and may revisit it later. Reduce body shot damage against players by 20%. This will also prevent it from being a one-hit kill with a body shot while in an empowering rift, combined with that change. Body damage reverts to old behavior when in the weapon damage mode. Precision damage in any mode unchanged. Alright, well that's kind of boring, but fine. Skyburner's Oath. Oh man, we're really digging through everything here. Felt like it didn't have a niche except for airborne memes, so we made a bunch of changes aiming to improve its ease of use, give it more utility, and really push it into the role. Is it getting intrinsic anti-champion? No. Increased AGS projectile speed to 999, so it's hit scan. Both ADS and hipfire are now 150 RPM. Hipfire projectile no longer tracks but arcs similar to a grenade launcher and has a larger detonation size than ADS. The hipfire detonation also applies a burn to targets. Solar 3.0 incoming, maybe. Also, so this is not a burn anymore because if they're doing Solar 3.0, that probably would have screwed up stuff that triggers on burn. I am almost 100% sure we're getting Solar 3.0 now. That has been the rumor for a long time now, but I think this is kind of confirming it, honestly. The bonus range from the Masterwork has been rolled into the base stats of the weapon. The Masterwork now grants bonus reload speed instead. Has the highest effective airborne stat of any weapon in the game, 35. Well, I guess we'll see. The last word plays very differently. Oh god, here we go again. On mouse and keyboard, then it does a controller. The disparity doesn't need to be that large. Reduce mouse and keyboard recoil penalty from 33% to 22%. Sure. Arbalest is more dominant than intended in hard PvE content, able to fill the anti-barrier role as well as shield breaking and boss damage. We made a fairly small adjustment here, but may need to look at it in a future season. Reduce damage versus champions by 25%. Yeah, I can see it based on how ridiculously dominant it was for anything with a champion in it. Sure. Graviton Lance. Where's more? Graviton Lance buff alert. The catalyst didn't help the weapon enough. I don't know what the catalyst even does, honestly. And we wanted to give it a bit of a boost. This change will give it some interesting utility in PvE and PvP, particularly with the buff to exotic primary weapons and the Witch Queen. Catalyst change from granting Hidden Hand. What was that? Was it just like better aim assist? To granting Vorpal Weapon and Turnabout. So Vorpal obviously damage against supering enemies and bosses. Turnabout is the one where if you hit someone that with an overshield, like someone that's supering, then you get an overshield. So this is like an anti-super weapon now, apparently. And is this archetype getting buffed by one of the pulse changes? I'm not sure. Graham's Overture's most recent adjustment switched the missiles to fire in bursts of 5. Oh, yeah, I wonder when that started happening. I kept trying to fire the missiles and then they just didn't work. Reduce time between bursts and missile mode. Holding the trigger will now fire all missiles in a continuous burst. Tapping will... Yeah, this was confusing. I don't know why they changed that. Cold Heart. Arc damage type updates. And Cold Heart's exotic traits more or less being... is a trace rifle. No longer fits in the world of legendary trace rifles. The ease of use on sustained damage is also pretty low. Sustained damage creates an ionic trace, and collecting an ionic trace grants energy to all your abilities. Oh, okay, so ionic trace is that thing that warlocks have in the middle tree. Interesting, okay. Increased grace time before the damage ramp up clears from that to that. Prometheus Lens, solar damage type update. What do they keep? What are these type damage updates? What does this mean? Is this something they're going to talk about in a minute here? And generally, this needs some tweaks to be viable. Sustained damage applies a more useful burn to targets. Telling you, something is happening with burn very soon here. Wave Splitter, void damage type updates, and the power cycling mechanic was interesting but ultimately hard to capitalize on. Power level no longer cycles randomly. The default damage output is the same as the old middle tier. Picking up an orb of power now grants 10 seconds of maximum power, caps at 20, up from 5 and 10. Now suppresses targets while in this mode by picking up an orb. That's interesting. Huh, okay. Astiostriga's projectile somehow shift rotated by 90 degrees. Looks a bit weird. Corrected rotation on projectile model. I thought it was supposed to look like that. I thought you were supposed to be firing these like weird little oval blobs. Okay. Lord of Wolves is kind of a shotgun, has its own custom tuning, wasn't impacted by the previous shotgun change, it was too strong. Reduce damage fall off, start and end by 25%. Gotcha. Alright, I need some more water. I am dying here. Okay, there we go. Perks. Note, where an enhanced perk exists and an adjustment is needed, it's been adjusted the same way. Snapshot is felt mandatory on sniper rifles forever. With this change, a sniper rifle snapshot will feel about the same, but one without snapshot will feel a lot snappier. Increase ADS scalar from 0.5 to 0.75 for special ammo weapons. Primary ammo weapons are unchanged. Opening shot is felt mandatory in shotguns forever, in large part because it gives part of its buff as a damage fall-off scalar. This isn't something we want on short-range weapons. You could still feel a range bump with this change unless range is already capped, but it won't let weapons push completely outside their intended engagement ranges. Remove damage fall-off scalar, increase range stat bonus from 20 to 25. Other stats from this perks are unchanged, and so this is going to be like less of a problem on shotguns. Full choke has been the go-to magazine perk forever, justified or not. With this change, other magazine options should be more competitive. Increase spread angle scale from 9.5 to 9.625. Minor, but okay. Smoothbore has been an awkward magazine perk, so it's getting buffed. Reduce spread angle from 1.1 to 1.075. Desperado is a strong perk in its current form, but we'd like to be able to put it on more weapons without breaking PvP. Ooh, fun. With this adjustment, it's still strong, has more PvE utility, and can be applied to pulse rifle subfamilies, aside from high impact if desired. Increase fire recovery scalar from 0.417 to 0.7. Doesn't fire as fast with the perk active. Reduce duration from 7 to 6 seconds. Remove the PvE damage penalty. Oh, I didn't know there was one. Air Assault was shelved a long time ago, but adding airborne effectiveness gave us the opportunity to turn it into a perk that actually does what it says in the description. Did it not do anything before? With this change, airborne gunplay while wounded will be much more effective. Rebuilt now grants up to plus 60 airborne effectiveness when wounded. Same trigger conditions as Eye of the Storm. Still don't see people using that, but okay. Mulligan was never quite as strong enough to warrant a pick previously, but buffing it would have been risky in special weapons. With this change, it's useful on rapid-fire primary weapons where you don't expect every shot to hit, occupying a similar role to triple tap, but inverted. Increased chance to return ammo on a miss from 20 to 35% on special ammo weapons. I don't think I've saved anything that's ever dropped with Mulligan, but we'll see. Unchanged on special and heavy. Let me see. All right, hang on. I'm going to look. Where's Dim? Mulligan. Oh. Well, that doesn't count. Yeah, okay, I've saved nothing with Mulligan, so guess we'll know that for the future. Alright, compulsory reloaders shipped a little weak. With this change, you can really feel the reload speed bump. Increased reload stat buff from 40 to 50, added a 0.95 reload animation scalar. It's still not good. It's not the speed wasn't the problem. It's just you just barely ever trigger it. Whatever. Adagio is allowing for one-hit body shot kills with slug shotguns. Well, this is possible with other perks such as Swashbuckler. The investment required to trade the perk is much too low for that power bump. With this change, a slug shotgun with Adagio will be less of a monster in PvP, but will still be able to get headshot kills at greater ranges with the perk active. Reduce the damage bonus for shotguns from 30% to 20%. Mods. Icarus Grip will now grant airborne effectiveness stat instead of airborne accuracy penalty scalar. Removed airborne accuracy scalar now grants plus 15 airborne effectiveness stat. Adept now grants plus 15 airborne effectiveness and plus 5 handling. Well, that was quite a bit, wasn't it? Let it soak in for a while. You may need to read a few sections more than once to understand the technical speak behind it all. I will never understand most of it, yes. Heck, you might really understand the changes until you're in your hands. In any case, we'll be watching the conversation around these planned changes and answering when we can. Wait, more weapon talk? Oh god. I'm exhausted. Okay. Well, the following isn't about weapon tuning. We felt it was important to bundle with the mega TWAB of sandbox information to keep players like you in the know. Just before last season ended, we announced a list of weapons that would be rotating out of Destiny 2 activities with little time to spare. Some of these weapons could be seen as powerhouses in previous sandbox metas, while others were just happy to be included. Next season and the season after, it will be no different. In an effort to keep loot pools from overcrowding as we continue to develop and release sweet new pieces of gear, we'll have a handful of weapons from Iron Banner, Nightfall's Trials rotating out in Season 17. We're also including a list of weapons that will be rotating in Season 18 in the hopes of giving you a full season to target anything that might be missing from your, or rotating out in Season 18, missing from your collections. Leaving loot pools, Iron Banner, Occluded Finality, blech. Finite Impactor, blech. Nightfall's Comedian, thank God. Palindrome, that's been there a long time and everyone is a good palindrome now. Trials, Shuria's, Messenger. Yeah, I think we're a little Shuria'd out right now. Leaving the season after, Peace Bond, Argon's Thunder, Plug 1, Hothead, Eye of Soul, and Summoner. Isn't Summoner just coming back next season? Okay. Season 18 is a way out. This may change. Okay. While we don't have any firm plans to share, we can note the team is aware of feedback surrounding weapon rotations and availability and looking at opportunities in the future to address it. To keep expectations in check, this is likely a longer-term investigation, so don't expect too much news over the next season. Once we have more information, we'll be sure to let you know. Near-term abilities tuning. We're doing abilities too. All right. There is a hotfix on Tuesday. Oh, okay. So this is before next season. Axiom Bolt base cooldown increased from 91 to 152. Oof. Titan Barricade base cooldown when the Bastion Void aspect is equipped is now 82 seconds, up from 53 seconds. Ugh. This matches the recharge rate of Warlock Rift. Boo. Offensive Bulwark now provides 60% less bonus grenade energy in PvP. Whisper of Change now provides 15% bonus damage resistance against players when near a stasis crystal, down from 25%, unchanged in PvE. That's good. Renewal Grasps. When well equipped, Renewal Grasps increase the base cooldown of the Dustfield Grenade from 62 seconds to 152 seconds. Boo. Boo. I hate it. Because that applies to PvE too. Annoying. The outgoing damage penalty applied to player victims in the Dustfield Grenade reduced from 50 to 20%, damage unchanged versus PvE targets. Ugh, I don't want my grenade to take that long. Ugh, it's annoying. Alright, Gambit is coming with Moat Thief. I'm too exhausted to care about this. This is like normal moat drain from having 2 blockers disabled. Instead, every second the invader is invading, 1 moat drains from your bank to the invader's bank. That sounds terrible. I hate it. Okay. Rewards, and I think we're done. Oof. Oof. A lot of stuff here. I'm just soaking it all in. That's funny. Oh, that's cute. Human Sedona. Alright. Is this anything here? This is the change they made that if you stay in the flawless pool after 7 wins, you will get adept drops even with a flawed card. And yeah. Why is he redacting a weapon he's never snagged a good roll on? Okay, DMG is now taking a few weeks off to relax after this monstrous TWAB. And we will hopefully hear some more stuff in the future. That is, so we got through this whole thing without them mentioning what 3.0 element is coming. I am 95% sure it's Solar 3.0 based on all the burn language in this, which is pretty exciting. I'm really excited to see what is going to happen with Solar next. I really love Solar on, I've always loved Solar Titans, so I've been playing with that for a long time. Obviously I'm using Void this season, but I'm very curious to see how it plays on the other ones too, so. I'm exhausted. I also committed to doing a written summary of this. God, what am I doing? So I'm about to do that after I format this video. Thank you. If you've stuck with me this entire time, that took close to an hour, and I very much appreciate it. I will have, you can check my article for kind of more detailed thoughts on things, and I may have a follow-up video on this later once I kind of process everything, because that was a whole lot to take in, a lot of air accuracy talk. But all right, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later.